Remember how we funneled all that money into the banks to make sure that they would get credit rolling again and that they were viable and that the economy did not collapse? Well, guess what they did? Exactly as I promised you, they took it and put it in their pockets. We have 3 different stories out today on bonuses and sometimes record bonuses being paid to banks that previously took TARP money, some of which still hold a tremendous amount of TARP money. So hiking pay for the top investment bankers at Merrill Lynch, UBS, and Citigroup, according to the Financial Times. Their companies are giving them bigger bonuses. In fact, the bonuses are near 2007 levels. That's when they broke all records, taking as much money out of the banks and into their own pockets as they possibly could before the economy crashed. Now they're back to their old tricks. Even though they're loaded up with TARP money and taxpayer money, some of them funneled through that money already, and some of them still have it. They're back to paying their executives 80% of what they paid them in 2007, which were mental numbers to begin with. To give you a small sense of it here, the market salary rates now for managing directors, this is a lower level now, managing directors have jumped from $250,000 to $400,000 in just the last couple of months. So as they were telling you, oh, you can't find a job in finance. No, boy, we're going to regulate this industry, and we're going to take some of this excessive risk-taking that leads to all these profits out of it. But why? It's not because we're against profits. It's because then it winds up coming out of the U.S. taxpayer, right? Nope, wrong. Salaries going up dramatically in the last couple of months. Now, if you think those numbers are bad, wait till you get a load of Goldman Sachs and the top executives overall at the financial companies. Goldman Sachs this year is going to give out record bonuses. In their 140-year history, they have not given out bonuses this large before. They just barely gave the TARP money back. Now, but it wasn't just that. The reality is they have all this money partly because it wasn't about the TARP money for Goldman Sachs. It was that they got paid through AIG. Understand the scam that was done here. They said, oh, AIG can't go under because all the other banks are dependent on it. They were their insurance. So we funneled all the money into AIG, and then they gave it to all these banks who now declare, hey, don't worry about it. I got record profits. I'm going to take record bonuses. Let me give you the exact numbers. In the first first quarter of 2009, Goldman Sachs says they made $2 billion. Of which they're going to give half of it in bonuses to their executives. So we give AIG $13 billion, they give it to Goldman Sachs, and then Goldman Sachs turns around and goes, what, I made $2 billion. I'm going to take $1 billion of it home to all the guys who work here. That's pretty convenient. Nicely done. And we're the suckers that continue to give them that money. Unbelievable. They paid 973 bankers at Goldman Sachs over $1 million. 973 of them. And we're not even talking about the top 5 or 10 guys. Their largesse continues, and it's supported by the fact that in 2009, they are expected, the industry overall is expected to make in the ballpark of $300 billion. Now, how's the financial industry that we're putting all this taxpayer money into making $300 billion in profits? How is that possible? And if that's possible, why the hell do they need our money? Now, there's something incredibly wrong here. There's something outrageously wrong here. And you know how Warren Buffett had put in a $5 billion investment into Goldman Sachs? And at the time, people were like, whoa, Warren, what are you doing? And then Goldman's value went down a little bit after that, and they're like, boy, Buffett blew this one. He's already made $1 billion from that investment. Already made $1 billion. Now, look, it was a smart investment on his part. I'm not blaming him for it. But how in the world is Goldman Sachs that profitable when everybody the whole financial industry threw up their arms, a little while back saying, oh my God, please taxpayers, give me all your money, I desperately need it. Now they're laughing all the way to their own bank. Okay, now, that was Goldman, that was the lower level guys, that were some of the higher level guys. Now let's go to a story coming out of Crane's New York Business Report. New York's top 100 paid executives took home a whopping $1.2 billion last year. In the meltdown, in the middle of the meltdown, as we're worried about the global economy and we're in the worst recession since the Depression, the top only 100 executives took home $1.2 billion. I mean, what kind of suckers are we to continue to funnel money to these guys. Man, I have a hell of a time making the money I do. My guess is so do you, right? It doesn't come easy. And we're going to take that hard-earned money and give it to these guys? There's something wrong in this system, man. There's something profoundly wrong. Lloyd Blankfein, the CEO of Goldman Sachs, was number 4 on the list for last year. Took home $42.9 million. They got TARP money, and he took home $43 million. Now they've paid that back. Citigroup hasn't paid it back. They still owe us $45 billion, the American taxpayers. Vikram Pandit went in front of Congress, and I remember I was enough of a sucker on that day to give him a little bit of credit as opposed to the other CEOs. Turns out he was lying through his teeth, of course, because he said, oh, no, I'll just take a salary of $1 until we get this thing squared away. $1, my ass! You know how much money he took home last year in the middle of the mess? $38.2 million. $1. $1. Come on, man. These guys, this is a joke, and it's being played on us with our money. And the list goes on and on and on. You know, I can give you other CEOs. It's absolutely maddening. But somebody has to come and tell me why I'm paying all these sons of bitches all this money, and then they're taking it home. I just don't see it.